What is up, everybody? We are finally back for another Home City Chucks episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking NFL only due to the delay, which we do apologize for.
Yes.
And with that, don't worry, we still talked college, but we made it its own episode. So go check
Yes.
that one out too.
Yes. And
But
you can
let's get
only
into
view
things.
that one if you are subscribed to our OnlyFans.
Yes, there is a barrier to entry. There is a
Yes.
barrier to entry on that one. I do apologize, but you gotta pay for the good stuff.
Yes. Pay to play,
Um,
baby.
yeah, but with a delay, we're gonna be focusing on the games from last week, Thanksgiving week, but we'll be touching on a few of the more exciting games that happened the week before when we get to some of those teams. But with that, let's get started. Thanksgiving Day games. I mean, classic American holiday right there.
Yes.
Food, family,
Oh,
and football. You can't go wrong.
yes. The three
All
F's,
day.
man. Three F's.
Yep,
It's good stuff.
yep.
And, I mean, we had some good ones. We had some good moments.
We did have some very surprising moments as well.
Oh, gosh.
Um,
I know what you're
let's start
alluding
with
to. Ugh.
yeah. Let's start with the Lions and Bears game. I mean, this is a game. Lions started off hot. It looked like it had the makings of a bit of a blowout, honestly. Then all of a sudden, something changed
Yeah.
in the second half. Lions couldn't really move the ball anymore, started struggling, making bad decisions. And Caleb Williams turned it on.
Yeah.
I mean, they made it a close game. Close enough to where they were driving, had every opportunity to. And I want to be clear, I saw a lot of stuff how, oh, it was definitely going to overtime, blah, blah, blah. Where they were at on the field, that was still a mid to long 50-yard
Oh, yeah.
attempt.
Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah. Whoever's
Someone
saying
else.
that, they're high on something because that was not a gimme kick by any
No,
means. The
let's
problem
be here.
was the
They
clock
should have been able to
management
take it.
because they should
Yeah,
have well they should have been able to take it and they should have been able to get a playoff before that to potentially get it closer and a more makeable kick.
oh
Um,
yeah.
and
And I think,
it costs a man his job too. Spoiler alert.
oh no, it did. He's gone.
Yeah, wasn't the best Thanksgiving for
Previous
that
play,
family.
the previous play ended with 34 seconds on the
Yep.
clock. 34. Honestly, I agree with the initial decision to not call a timeout there.
Oh yeah.
Your team should be able to get to the line and run a play,
Right.
probably snap it around 20 seconds at the latest.
Yep.
Latest.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. And there will be no
so,
Caleb Williams slander either, because
yeah,
the true story
that's
came out.
unfortunate.
The man was waiting for a play call the entire time until 7 seconds, and then the play call was what they should have ran with 30 seconds, like get the ball out quick, try and get 6 7 yards towards the
Yep.
sideline. It works great. If it doesn't, we'll try the monster kick. Um, That was the play call he received with 7 seconds, and he received it with 7 seconds. To then call it and then make the play happen, there was no time. So Caleb Williams audibled it to, hey, we gotta frickin' chuck this up to the end zone. Like that's our best bet. So and that's what went down. And yeah, it didn't work out, and it was insane to watch. Like I was screaming at the TV, man. Like what are you doing? Like
That was
oh
crazy. Once you get down to 20 seconds and it's clear you're not even close to ready, you gotta call the timeout. It sucks you
yep,
lost those 14
it
seconds,
does.
but you have to give
Yeah.
your team a chance.
Right.
You have to. You
Yep.
cannot end that game with a timeout in your pocket in that situation.
Amen.
That I
Yeah.
texted you right after, and I said that there was already some rumors the seat was getting a little
Oh,
warmer.
totally.
In my opinion, that alone, fireball offense.
Oh, yeah. Well, and did you
That
see any of the
that alone
post
should
game?
not happen. No, I did not.
So he tried defending it. Like he was literally like, "That's exactly how we wanted it. Like that's how we planned it. Like that's how it went." Like it was insane to hear that man defend his actions after that. Um, and that's another thing, like you said, to end that game with a timeout in your pocket is brutal. I wonder if Caleb Williams isn't a rookie, if he just takes matters into his own hands and does the right thing. But I feel like because he's a rookie, he didn't, and that's a shame because that could have been like a big leadership moment for him. Because even like the team within itself would know that Caleb Williams was the one to make that call, potentially save the game or at least force OT, or at least have a chance for OT because they didn't even have that. But yeah, it would have been huge if he did that. I wish he had, but you can't put anything on the rookie there. And kudos to him for making that audible. Like, hey, we don't have time for that. Like, we have to just go for the win now. And yeah, it didn't work out, and it was horrible. Like you said, the game, for it to start out the way it did, it was Lions all the way. Horrible first half for the Bears offense. They got nothing going at all.
Oh yeah.
And then they talked to Eberflus going in the locker room, and he's like, "It's gonna start popping off in the second half. Like we're gonna get going." I was like, "This guy's smoking crack. Like you literally are getting dominated out there." And he was actually right because, like you said, Caleb Williams, tale of two halves there. He looked really good in that second half, and he put the team in a situation to force OT or win, and it didn't work out, and it wasn't really his fault, so it's a shame, but it was a big step for him. So young, so I mean, he's got all the talent around him, but it's not that simple. And the offense looks a lot better since the offensive coordinator's been gone, and now with Eberflus gone, I'm hoping it looks even better. But we will see. Um,
We'll see.
yeah,
I do want to ask. I do want to ask. You say this is a tough call to make, as you said, as a rookie.
right.
Is the audible to a deep ball there actually the right call? You're already in field goal range, albeit a deep shot. It's still in the 50s, which for NFL kickers these days is makeable for pretty much all of them. And they
Yeah,
have a leg to get there. Is the right audible actually to spike it? Stop the clock?
yeah, that's fair. Or honestly, what I would have done, it's 7 seconds ish, like I said, when he makes the call to the audible. So now we're talking 6-5 when he's snapping it. The other option is, do you still try that like 5 yard out? Like, do you have enough time? Like, we've seen it done in that amount of time, but it's so risky. And I just feel like it was, again, being a rookie, scramble brain. Like, once the ball snapped, like, it's like panicky. It's a situation he hasn't really been in. It was a self inflicted situation, which, that's a factor in it, too. Like, what would you say it was? 35 seconds when it. Yeah, come on. But to answer your question, in hindsight, no, of course not. Don't go for the deep ball. Like you said, everybody in the league's got that kind of leg to make it happen. Is it likely? Not really, no. But, it's possible for sure. So, yeah, the right call in hindsight, yeah, spike that thing or go for the 5 yard out and you just make sure you get rid of that ball with freaking 4 seconds left so, it can hit the ground or whatever before the time expires. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that was a lot of pressure for a rookie who hasn't been in that situation. Um,
That's fair.
so yeah, I think you can defend his actions all day, but to answer your question, yeah, he should have spiked it.
Yeah. Fair. I was just curious. That's what I thought he should have done once it got to the point that it did, and it was clear his coach was never
Right.
calling that
Or
call.
call the timeout.
Well,
but
that might even be the better option there. At the
right.
same time, in football, you don't see players call timeouts. That is like very taboo. So,
Well, not really with a quarterback. To save delay of games, we see it all the time, but in that situation, I agree. That's Coach City all day.
yeah. So, interesting one there. I wasn't upset by the mistake. It ended the game. Lions win.
Yeah,
It's
and I picked Lions in that too, so I was okay with it. But you picked them as well, so I was pulling Bears.
Fair, fair. Up next, Giants Cowboys. A much more interesting game than I expected. Um, Cowboys coming out on top, 27-20.
Yeah,
One of
not
the games where I was correct and you were
Yeah. I was gonna say it wasn't interesting enough for my liking. Yeah, I was feeling an upset there, and yeah, it didn't go my way. The score was closer than it really was, honestly. The Cowboys had it in hand most of the game, and they just kind of let them fight back into it. But yeah, I was pulling for something that wasn't there on that one. These division games, I mean, Bears Lions was too. I mean, you never know. So yeah, I took my shot at it and failed.
No, that's fine because in the next game I did the exact same thing. I took my
Right.
shot at it and failed.
Right.
The Dolphins Packers. I really in that one I just thought Tua's been so hot recently and they were really kicking on and I
Yeah.
just kind of expected a bit of an upset there. But man, Packers came out and it certainly looked like the Dolphins weren't prepared to play at Lambeau in the cold weather. That's for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah, as hot as
And
Tua was, he wasn't ready for the cold. And they're really mind-boggling to me, the Dolphins. I mean, they word on the street is like they've changed the way their offense is running to protect Tua from taking hits. Like no deep balls. I mean, we're seeing that. Hill and Waddle, I mean, it's just not there. It's not happening. It's Jonnu Smith up the middle all game, baby.
it is. I love
But
it.
yeah, but yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I miss those exciting big plays that we're used to seeing out of them, and it's still working for them doing it this way. Like you said, they were playing good football. They were pretty hot going into this one, and I don't see them really steering away from it and going back to the deep ball big plays. But it is frustrating as a fan of explosion. It's annoying, but yeah. End of the story is Packers are a good team, and
They are.
the to be home against the Dolphins, a team who is known for struggling in cold weather. I mean, it wasn't too much of a surprise for me, but I didn't expect it to end the way it did. I mean, they smoked them. I mean, they got a touchdown late to Tyreek, and it was meaningless. It was go ahead and take it. But yeah, final there was 30-17. I mean, it was a shellacking.
Yep. I mean, these NFC North teams, man, they're just best
Yeah.
division in football,
Yeah, they're legit, dude.
without a doubt. Packers, Vikings, Lions.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the Lions, how great they've been, and they're only up a game on the Vikings, so it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's still crazy for me to hear people say that. Oh, just look at the Lions and how great they've been.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's an amazing feeling. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the Black Friday game, Raiders Chiefs. I mean, what what the hell? The Chiefs are. I wasn't upset by it because I picked the Chiefs and I wanted to be right. But what kind of black magic, sorcery, whatever else they could possibly be doing here is going on in the games that they're playing?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here?
Oh, it's nuts. It seems like there's an outside force at play for sure. I mean, these games just, you can't even make them up. Like you said, it's sorcery. I mean, how are they pulling all this off? And, it's frustrating. I don't want this team to win. And it's week
Yeah.
after week, they're winning in like the most annoying ways possible.
No, yeah, the Raiders always play the Chiefs tough too.
Always,
So I can
always.
expect it to be close. Max Crosby really gets at Patrick Mahomes in these
Yeah.
games, and
He's
Patrick
just
Mahomes
awesome,
does a
dude.
really great job.
That guy lives on the field. Like he literally doesn't miss a snap. Like talk about endurance. My gosh, for a
He's
big
awesome,
dude.
and he's got a really cool story too.
He does.
Getting to where he's at, but
And I saw a stat during that game too. O'Connell's actually the last quarterback to win in Arrowhead, like against the Chiefs.
that's
So
great.
yeah, and he almost did it again. Um,
Yeah,
Definitely, I'm kind of neutral with Minshew, but I feel like they got to stop playing him. I mean, I know O'Connell was hurt with the thumb and everything, but I feel like that's their guy. Like, yeah, they got to see what they got with him. Like, everybody knows what Minshew is. Like, he'll pull something out of his ass twice a year, but other than
I
that,
don't think I don't think Minshew's a quarterback for bad team. He's got to be on at least a middle ground
Right.
team, and then I think he can be a serviceable quarterback. But on a team with zero weapons like the
Yeah.
Raiders, Brock Bowers, rookie, playing really well, but still, they got nothing else outside of that after trading Devontae, especially.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that's a team for Gardner Minshew to excel on.
No. Yeah. Jacoby Myers, your number one option outside of Bowers. That's rough. Um, but yeah, to your point, like Minshew, in a perfect world, he's a good team's backup. Like he kind of was for the Eagles. Like that's where you want him to be. But yeah, to lead a team, he really needs a perfect storm around him if you're gonna have any hopes of doing any kind of damage or making a run.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it just, gosh, I got to mention exactly what happened with that black magic. I mean, Raiders driving at the end of the game, looking like they were going to win. I mean, Chiefs were only up two, Raiders comfortably in field goal range, comfortably. And then Aiden O'Connell just wasn't ready for the snap. Chiefs jump on top, game over.
Yeah.
Chiefs win, just like that.
Yeah, which that was a sus play. Like, it was sus. I mean,
Yep.
and you wonder, like, with the refs there, too, like, if they call that a false start, that's a pre snap penalty. Nothing after it matters. But, they call illegal formation or whatever instead, and Chiefs can decline it, and then, they get the ball, they win the game. So, I mean, it's just annoying. Like I said, they're winning all these games in the most annoying ways possible. Like I didn't think it was possible to dislike this team anymore, and I'm finding out it is.
I think your dislike for them is going to grow with every win they stack in the W column, sir.
Yeah,
I think that's where
I
we're
think
at.
you're right, but I'm reaching a boiling point. Like, come on.
Right, when the Lions beat them in the Super Bowl, it's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Hey, if the Lions go there and they're up against them, please do, buddy. Please do.
Yeah, yeah. But let's move on to what was a game that, oh my goodness, I know the Bengals defense is bad. Like, I know. I get it. But Russell Wilson throwing for as many yards as he did, somewhere between 4 and 500. I can't remember the exact number, but Russ doing that anymore? Come on.
Yeah, we
Come
thought
on.
those days were gone. And with these weapons the Steelers have, like, come on. It's craziness. I mean, and they did have a defensive touchdown as well, but the final there, 44-38. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, who would have guessed that score? Especially AFC North, man. Like, we know how those matchups go. It's
Yeah,
certainly not usually a shootout like that.
if you tell me the Bengals go up against Pittsburgh's defense and are still able to put up 38 points, I there's not a world where I don't believe they don't win that game.
Right,
Allowing
it's
the
crazy.
Steelers offense to put up 44 points
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
yeah.
It should not be.
Well, and they did get the defensive touchdown, but regardless, it's like,
Yes.
whatever. For them to end in a total of 44, it's
Yeah.
insanity. Like, and I picked the Steelers in this one, so I thought they were going to win, but certainly not this way. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely nuts. I mean, we've seen shootouts like, what's that?
You really got to feel for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase at this point. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
they're
dude,
putting up unreal numbers.
dude, they
they're
gotta
making
be
playoffs.
crying every night. Like, there's no way those pillows are dry before bedtime. Like,
I don't know. Joe Burrow's buying a freaking Batmobile.
that's
He's
freaking sick,
fine.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, people cope in different ways.
Yeah.
That is certainly a cope job right there, if I've
Yeah,
ever
it
seen
is.
one. But
Because I think their season's done. I don't see a world in which they make the playoffs anymore.
yeah. Oh yeah. And that was a good pick on your part, going Bengals there. Like, must win game at home against a team like you said that even with the Bengals struggling defense, Pittsburgh shouldn't exploit it too bad. Not as bad as some of the other teams that have. And yeah, it was a good pick, and I was definitely worried about that one, but yeah, ended up going in my favor. But yeah, I just would have never guessed that game going that way.
That's fair. That's fair. I want to jump to a game that had a bit of controversy. The Texans and the Jags. I mean, Aziz Al-Shair suspended now.
Oh
Took
yes.
Trevor Lawrence out. What do you think about that situation? You think
I
he
don't.
deserves the suspension?
No. I don't. I don't. It was a dirty play and it is a flag. I mean, that's it. That's it. We're playing football still. I mean, it was a flag. I'm not saying it was clean, but to suspend him, no, I'm not for that at all. And, the Texans have backed him up throughout this whole process, and I'm right with them. I mean, I don't think. Like, what are you saying about that guy's character when you throw suspension on him for a play that happens? I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
We see plays like that probably 6 times a year or whatever, but just because of the result was, Lawrence throwing the arms up, like, now we're going to make it like this guy's a criminal or something? Like, I would be offended if I was him. Like, you don't get suspended for that. Like, that's just not right.
No, I do totally agree. And the thing is about this one specifically, I do agree it was dirty and a bit late, but I think it was closer than some people are making it out to be. Like he could have pulled away, but honestly, best case scenario, I think he still runs into Lawrence there. Like that
Oh,
was
totally. I think it's how he did it. I mean, he did
yeah,
the classic leave your feet, like he was torpedoing at it. Like it was definitely a flag.
yep,
But yeah, I guess that's why. Like the whole torpedo left your feet and sprung at him. I guess that's what warranted the suspension in their eyes. But yeah, I wouldn't go that far with it. I mean, mistakes are gonna be made. We see flags all the time. Like what makes that one so bad that the guy can't play? Like
yep.
I don't know. I'm just not for that. But yeah, and like you said, you watch that play live. I mean, what is he really to do? Like, and like I said, I mean, he could not spring and jump at him like that, torpedo style. But beyond that, I mean, it was bang bang play. Like it was a little late, and he was sliding, but I mean, these guys are going 20 miles per hour at each other. Like, what do you expect
Yeah,
them to do?
yeah. No, I will say, like in my opinion, in any case where it's not extremely obvious that the defender was very late, most of the time that means the offensive player probably should have slid sooner. They
Bingo.
were just trying to
We
get
see that
away
all
and
the
get too
time.
much out of it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're baiting it or they're just trying to get as much yardage as possible before they slide, but we see late slides all the time. And
Yep.
yeah, and this is another one just like that. So, what makes this one so bad that this guy can't play? Yeah,
Yep.
I'm very much so against that.
Yeah. But then credit to Mac Jones coming in, played pretty well. Definitely gave
He
them a
did.
chance in the game. The Texans only pulled this one out 23-20. And I think that's starting to become a pretty big storyline for me. The Texans are getting people back healthy. They should be improving. They really should.
Yeah,
And they
I
are
couldn't agree
not.
more. They don't look right.
They lost to the Titans the week before.
Yep,
Almost dropped this game to the Jags. I mean, they look vulnerable. They really do.
they do.
I expected them to look better. I know you expected them to look really good. If I remember, you had them at the 1 seed.
I did.
Um,
But I
but
did have them losing their first playoff game. But yeah, regular
yeah,
season, I thought this team was, I thought they were the shit. And they kind of were last year. I figured they would only improve, adding Mixon, adding Hunter. Like they made moves. They added Diggs. Like there was a ton of good moves, and yeah, it just really hasn't gone their way. And to your point, they've gotten healthy. Like really now, it's just really Diggs they're missing, and I don't think he's the difference in making this team mediocre to great. I mean, they should
yeah,
still be very good. And yeah, they're playing with their food a bit, I think too. But yeah, they need to get that right before playoffs start, or they're gonna get bounced.
absolutely, totally agree. Let's move on. I want to touch on this next game just very briefly, mostly because I want to say like Vikings Cardinals. Vikings pull it out 23-22. The field goal at the end, and god damn, these Vikings are really starting to piss me off. They're not even playing that well, but
No,
they're winning games. They're winning games, and ultimately that's obviously what matters. and they're sitting there with still only 2 losses. I don't
Yeah. I
understand.
mean, this is a few years now of them being this team, like that just wins in the every close game. It's like they're coming out on top. And you look at the stats, they lost them. You look at the you look at anything, and it's like it doesn't matter. Like if it's a one possession game and there's whatever 2 minutes left in the game, you have to believe this team's gonna win because it's just what they do. And I can't really explain why. I mean, we've talked about them all year. Like, we look at their roster, we look at everything, and it's like, why are they a two-loss team? Like, why are they this good? And I don't really know the answer, but all I know is it's not fluky at this point. Like, this is just what they do.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And like I said, it's really starting to piss me off.
Yeah,
Like that's not a lot of room for error for the Lions. I have faith that they will win some games. But they've also got some tough games coming up. So
yeah,
like
they do.
dropping one and going to 2 losses is fine, but like okay, that means we need the Vikings to come to their senses and
Right?
not only have 2 losses, which Lions will be able to take care of that themselves. They still got a game against the Vikings, so be
Yep.
clear about that. But come on, how are they doing this? But as you
Yeah,
said, it's not a fluke anymore. They're just a good team.
yeah. And that was a big one for our little matchup too. You went Cardinals, I went Vikings, and managed to luck out. But that being said, there was another game going on at the same exact time that
Yeah.
we had different and ended in dramatic fashion. I'm referring to Colts Patriots with a final of 24-25 in favor of the Colts. Um, a game in which the Patriots had control a lot of it, and Colts went down last drive of the game, got the touchdown, could have kicked the extra point for the tie, opted to go for two, which I love. I love when coaches do that. And yeah, worked out for them. They got it, went up one. Patriots actually did a great job moving the ball in, I want to say, about 20 seconds. Had a field goal attempt, would have been a record, I believe. Believe it was
68.
68, yeah. And, it was right down the middle, dude. And I thought it had a chance, but yeah, it just ended up about 2, 3 yards short. But yeah, that was a really exciting game going at the same time. But yeah, who you thought was going to win just immediately flipped on us. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, that was a really fun game.
Anthony Richardson's starting to look a little bit better.
He
He's
is.
looking better.
He is.
So
I think the wake up call is working for sure. He's still a bit
it's like allowing your young quarterbacks to sit on the bench
right.
is a positive thing.
Yeah, who would have thought? I never thought of that. That's crazy.
These coaches, man, they're just learning. You know,
Oh
they're too
man.
mad at them.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Let them sponge. They just want them to go right away, man. It's crazy.
Yep.
Like you could have freaking 10 years out of a quarterback. Like why do you have to make it 12 years out of them? Like let him sit for two. I
No,
mean,
totally
it's,
agree. Yeah, let's jump to your boys, Eagles Ravens.
hell
Let me
yeah.
let's hear it.
That was awesome, dude. I mean, I can't say enough about our defense. I'm so impressed. Um, in fact, I have the amazing Eagle stat of the week.
This
They
guy.
the Eagles have held the Ravens, Commanders, and Bengals all under 20 points, and all three of them are in the top, all three of them are top four offenses in the league. So I mean that's remarkable. All three of them to hold them like that, and this was another one where we kind of, I mean, we played soft, let them have seven at the end. Like this game ended up being comfortable. Um, Granted, Tucker did miss field goals. If they went in,
He did.
this game would have came down to the wire for sure. That last drive would have been, make or break for the game. And our defense wouldn't have been playing soft then, so who knows what would have happened. But yeah, I'm just very impressed with the defense. That being said, another slow start for this offense. Yeah, Eagles couldn't really get it going. It's frustrating. I mean, we opened the game with a Saquon handoff. It goes for 12 yards. and he doesn't touch the ball again that drive. Next drive rolls around. I think we throw it to him once. He gets like a handful, and that was it. And we were going 3-and-out like constantly. And Ravens were hot at the start. I mean, they went up 10-0 in this game, so it's crazy. I mean, or sorry, 9-0 because I think Tucker missed the extra point. Um, but yeah, it's awesome how this team's able to respond, and their defense sometimes needs to settle in, and same with the offense. Mostly the offense is what we're seeing. Takes a few drives, see how they're playing us in certain looks, and then adapt from there, um, which is fine. But I really would like to have the scheme set before the game starts, and like you see teams with the game script and they go right down the field and score, and then their offense can't do anything after that because the defense adjusts. And the Eagles are just the opposite. Like our script is ass. Like we just we never punch it in on our first drive, and we have to see what the defense is doing, see the looks, and adjust from there. And it can hurt against certain teams, and I was fearful that it would in this game against the Ravens because they scored. Their game script was better than ours. They were ready to play out the gates, and they got the lead early at home, a place we've never won before too, I believe. So yeah, it was scary at first, but the Eagles are going to keep fighting, and if there's one thing I learned, we are going to get Saquon involved. Like, I can't be too hot when the first few drives don't really go his way. He's gonna make his impact, and like we say all the time about these great running backs, the later the game goes along, it's just a matter of time till he breaks one. And Saquon's proven that. Oh my gosh, about every game this year. So yeah, it was a great win. Another game I picked up on you too, which is nice, especially it being the Birds. Yeah, it was great. That's all I have to say about it.
That's it, huh?
That's it. Just that 5-minute ramble.
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping the Ravens would pull this one out, and given that you did struggle against their defense, which has been surprisingly bad this year,
Yeah.
and they did go up, I was really surprised to see them struggle so much the rest of the game, which is a credit to your defense there for figuring out and really locking in, but certainly didn't expect that. But yeah, I mean, Ravens drop another one. It's starting to get tough for them to
Yeah.
to
I
win
mean,
the AFC North there.
amen. Yeah,
Steelers are just
they got a
cruising right
cushion.
along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a cushion.
Yeah,
Hopefully
I
the
gotta
the
ask.
Birds can take them out later on in the season, help the Ravens out. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I gotta ask. It's got to be time to give somebody else a chance to kick the ball in Baltimore, right?
right.
Somebody else has to take over kicking duties.
Yeah. We discussed this a little bit. I mean, yeah. I mean, whatever they got to do, fake an injury, whatever, get him on the IR. You got to get somebody in there. Now Tucker, I think we both agree, is the best kicker ever,
Yep.
and yeah, he is. So you don't cut a guy like that. I mean, he could have lingering injuries. Like a lot of times with some players, we don't know the full story. But the fact of the matter is, you can't have a guy go out there if he's going to miss as many kicks as he's missing this year. So, yeah, they got to bring somebody in. They definitely do. And, next year, or even maybe later on in the season, after a few weeks off for Tucker, you get him back involved. I mean, I think they definitely need him. He's a stud. He's like a big part of their team, even though he's just a kicker. But yeah, the way he's playing right now, it's not it. And, they're potentially losing games because of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And a team like the Ravens, you need somebody who can reliably make kicks, and Justin Tucker certainly is.
Bless you. Bless you.
Excuse me. Justin Tucker certainly is not that right now, and they're in a position where they need to win games.
Yeah.
It's not a team that can drop games because they want to keep their kicker out there who's been that guy for so
Right.
long. So as you're saying, Put him on IR, bench him, do whatever you need to
Yeah.
do. Don't cut him. He's done too much for
Right.
your organization.
Yes.
But get somebody else in there kicking. You have to.
Yeah.
You have
Well, and it's interesting too because football as a whole, like, is a very cutthroat business. Like, if this isn't Tucker and it's just about any other kicker in the league, like, there's no way he is
Already
kicking
done.
next week. Like, he's already
Already done.
done.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can't do it any differently just because it's Tucker. The only thing you do differently is like we're saying, you keep him, you retain him. I would try and you know how you can finagle in the NFL. You try and get him on the IR somehow, and you bring somebody in, and yeah, you can't be losing games like this. Like you said, it's just it's gotten to that point. Like they really need to do it, and I mean we're filming Friday night now, and I still haven't heard anything of about them bringing anybody in. So it's like it's looking like he's gonna come out. Um, which actually I think they're on bye this upcoming week. But
They are.
yeah, either way, I mean you'd think they'd want to get somebody else involved by now, especially with the bye. Get them in and get them well practiced and see where you're at with them.
No, definitely agree. But let's move on. We got 2 games left from last week. Talk Sunday night first. 49ers Bills. I mean, a game that was just absolutely dominated by the Buffalo Bills. They looked great. And
Yes.
really cool play in that game. We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen pass, lateraled back to him, goes and scores a touchdown. The guy gets the passing yards, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown without a reception, by the way, on the
Yeah.
same play. All on the same play.
Yeah.
I mean, fantasy managers
Exactly.
happy about that one. Let me
Yeah.
tell
Yep. Fantasy gold mine play right there.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure
really cool to see.
across the world that play decided matchups in fantasy too, especially it being a Sunday night game. But yeah, it was an amazing play, and yeah, it was just they're just a dominant team, dude. Especially at home this year. I mean, I would hate to go there if they get the 1 seed in the AFC. Like, watch out, man. They're no joke at home this year. Like, they're not just winning games at home; like they are smoking teams at home, and it's Josh Allen, man. He is just an amazing player this year. If the MVP has to go to a quarterback, I say it goes to him. But yeah, he's just remarkable, and their defense is playing pretty good too, and much better than I would have thought with all the guys they lost this offseason. I mean, they lost 3 crucial guys to their secondary, and they lost a linebacker. Like, they lost a bunch of stuff, and it's remarkable how good they've performed on both sides of the ball. And the offense is all about Josh. And like I said, I mean he's my MVP if it goes to a quarterback. Obviously, I'm pulling for Saquon, but yeah, if it goes to a QB, he deserves it in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And the big story for the 49ers there is their season toast. Christian McCaffrey is
Yes.
now done for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Jordan Mason also heads to IR.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're
Brenda's going to be
toast.
starting for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, yeah, they're at like a mad scramble to just have enough running backs for this week's game. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is now they are down to technically their RB4 because Elijah Mitchell went to IR at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
With his hamstring injury.
Yep.
And then you got McCaffrey going down now.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason's done. So RB4.
Yeah. It's nuts. I mean, they brought a practice squad guy up. They stole somebody that was, I believe, on the Jets practice squad.
Yes, Israel Abenikanda.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying it. I would have butchered that. But yeah, they're scrambling for backs, man. I mean, it's kind of their MO. That's what the Niners want to do, and they have no one to do it with, really. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm starting to think they're toast. I mean, think about like the morale in the locker room and everything with what's happened to them. Like, I don't see them bouncing back from this. And I mean, what are they sitting at? 6-6, something like that right now.
I think they're 5-7.
5-7, yeah. So yeah, they're getting to the point where, like we talked about the Bengals in the past few weeks, like it's now or never for that club, and
Yeah,
yeah, with what they're trying to overcome, I don't know if they have enough.
totally agree. Totally agree. And let's talk about that Monday night game. Man, what an exciting game this was.
Yeah,
This was fun. Not what I expected with the Broncos defense. Let me tell you, that was the
right.
first time I've seen them just absolutely run through. And of course, it was our guy Jameis doing it. And I think
Yes.
this game can be summed up by this statement. The Browns don't have a chance to win this game without Jameis, but they also lost this game because of Jameis.
Yeah,
So that's a really weird conundrum to be in.
dude.
He goes out there, he performs, he shreds one of the best secondaries in the NFL.
Hmm.
Jerry Jeudy has an insane game in his return to Denver, but he throws two terrible interceptions for pick sixes.
Yeah,
The one sealing the game. I
yeah.
mean, that's really tough, but like I said, say Deshaun Watson's still starting. I mean, the Broncos roll this game, I think, and the
Oh,
Browns don't even have a chance.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
great to see them fighting and have a chance, but it was one of those it was
It was
a
such a
Jameis
Jameis
Winston
game.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it really was.
it was. I mean, you
He
could put the
typically splits up those weeks where it's just all the bad
right.
in one week and
Yeah,
all the good in another week. He decided to combine them this week,
yeah,
and
yeah. He
that's what he
really
got.
did. I mean, you could put this game. This game is Jameis, like you said. I mean, the stats of this should be on his tombstone. Um, but yeah, this is Winston, man. And like you said, usually it's one or the other, but we got a little bit of both.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, like you said too, I mean, he torched a really good defense. Like if it wasn't for those pick sixes, it was a really bad game for a really good defense.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, if your defense generates 14 points, it was a good week. So
Yeah. Yeah.
all said and done, the defense did well. Um, but yeah, not really, because he was over 400 yards, and
Yep.
I mean, what, three touchdowns or four?
I think it
I think it
was.
was four.
He had Tuda and Joku,
One the
one to
Judy.
Judy on the long bomb,
Yeah.
and then Elijah Moore didn't catch one. I don't think Jamari Thrash caught one. Tillman was out,
Oh, Chubb
so
got one.
Chubb got one. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So yeah. So six touchdowns for Winston. Just two bad ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
very fun game. It was cool to see Judy break out. I mean, I feel like we've been waiting for that for years. I mean, this guy was a stud in college, and
Oh
yeah, it was a matter of time. I thought it wasn't going to happen anymore, but here it is. Better late than never. He just, he needed that kind of quarterback probably. I mean, just a ballsy, big arm gunslinger, and that is Sir Winston.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And if we know anything about Winston, this isn't going to affect him at all.
Not
Like,
one bit.
it's still a dice roll what we're going to see next week.
Yep.
Like,
With that, we wrap up recap from last two-ish weeks, focusing on last week. So let's move forward to this week's picks. Picks for week 14. We do owe you a recap of what's happened in our competition in the weeks that we've been out. Sorry, we're on a temporary short IR, as we've explained. But 2 weeks ago, I went up by one on the week. I was 8 of 13, Kris 7 of 13. I entered 5 games up, so I left that week 6 games up. Which leads us into what happened last week. A good week out of both of us. 12 out of 16 for me, 14 out of 16 for Kris. Quite a good week. So he picked up 2 games on me. And with 5 weeks to go, including this upcoming week, I am 4 games up. So definitely doable. I've got some work to do to maintain my lead here, and Kris has got some work to do to catch up.
yeah,
So with that, let's talk some picks, baby.
let's do it.
First game already happened. That
Yes.
happened yesterday. But to let the crowd know, we did already enter our picks and
Yes.
make them official. And I went the Lions in this Packers-Lions Thursday night game. Kris did as well. Let's talk about the game a little bit. So both of us right here. And interesting first half. Lions up 17-7, scoring there at the end of the half.
Yeah, that was huge.
I'm going into half thinking maybe they have the momentum. And
Yeah.
then, holy crap, 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the second half, the Packers are ahead 21-7.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because Dan Campbell's balls got a little bit too big.
Yeah.
Decided right out of the gates to go for it on 4th and 1 on his own 30.
Yeah. Hey, live and die by those balls, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
what do you
even
do?
your touchdown right before half, that was a 4th and goal. I mean, yeah, the balls pay off and they also hurt sometimes. But yeah, to go for it on your own 30, it's a little too ballsy. Too much ball for my liking.
I do agree. I do agree. Really wish he punted that away. I mean, ultimately, Lions pulled this one out, 34-31 at the
Yes.
end, with another questionable situation, which I actually think is worse, in my personal opinion. You're in comfortable field goal range. Packers already out of timeouts. They will get the ball back with like 30 seconds, 35 seconds maybe. Kick the field goal and take those chances. You
Hmm.
cannot risk not converting and the Packers going and getting in a field goal position and winning.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's great that it worked out. I love it. But we even saw on that play, Goff tripped and fell over. He's lucky to have gotten a handoff out. Like,
Dude,
that's
if it was
crazy.
college, he literally was down. Like his
Yeah,
knee hit.
yeah.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
craziness there.
It's
So
crazy.
you can't be doing that. You can't be
No.
doing that. But ultimately, they won. Sonic and Knuckles, another really great game out of both
Yeah.
of them. I mean, they are true thunder and lightning. Sonic and Knuckles is so appropriate for them.
Yeah.
Amir is definitely Sonic, and Montgomery is Knuckles. I love the shoes they wore. I believe on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving it was. That was
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Thanksgiving. That was cool.
So that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, Lions moving to 12-1, looking really good. Got some tough games coming up. So I'm excited to see how the rest of it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and now you get your mini bye week. I mean, what a time for that. I mean, you that's the one thing really. I mean, the Lions are winning the games, so I mean, credit to them. But they haven't looked as dominant as they did early in the season. And they've suffered a lot of injuries. So this mini bye week could be huge for your team. Get back on track, get some guys back, and I say get back on track. You guys don't lose, so it's weird to say it, but I think you know what I mean. Like they haven't been as dominant, but everything's still there. They just got to get some guys back on defense, and yeah, I think this team is they're scary. They're really good.
At the same
But
time,
yeah,
they are division games. Those games have been division games.
they
They
are.
used to be.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, there were other ones. I mean, like Texans was insane.
yeah,
But yeah, I see your point. Division games crazy. We know that. But yeah, I just think the mini bye could be huge for them. Especially like you said, you got some tough games down the road here. So hope to get some guys healthy and keep being the Lions. Win frickin'
no,
games.
totally agree. Totally agree. With that, let's move on to the games that haven't happened yet. Coming
Yes.
up this Sunday, Jags Titans, first one on the docket. What do you got?
I went Titans. It's kind of a crapshoot game. I like to go with the home teams. It's a crapshoot game. And the Jags, I feel like we talked about them against the Texans last week. Um, yeah, they were close. I mean, it was really close. I have yet to see them play two good games in a row. So I feel like the Titans will take this one.
I also went Titans here for a lot of the same reasons. It might be a low-scoring game, maybe 17-13. I'm just throwing scores
Yeah.
out there, I guess tonight. But
Yeah,
I think the
right.
Titans got this one. Yeah. So moving on, Jets Dolphins next game up. I mean, I just had to go Dolphins here. The Jets
Yeah.
look so unconvincing. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like himself. Is he washed? Maybe. He might be. It might be that time.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean that way. I mean, yeah, you see the stats that it's like this team was better with frickin' Wilson, Zach Wilson.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. I mean, Rodgers, everyone knows it's a Hall of Famer we're talking about, but yeah, he doesn't look right. Dolphins definitely want to bounce back after their loss last week. They got the mini bye going into this one. That is always nice. They are back to warm weather. Yeah, I like them in this one.
Yeah. Up next, we got Falcons and Vikings. And I'll tell you, I was kind of ripping my hair out a bit over making this pick.
Yeah,
Here's
this is
the
tough.
deal. Kirk has not been looking good. He has not. But this is a return to Minnesota for him. So I feel like what's happened so far this year doesn't matter coming into this game. And as we've discussed time and time again, I feel like the Vikings are bound to break at some point. Like, even if it's just for a game, and then, when playoffs comes around, they get beat up by the actual good teams. But I got Falcons here. I think Kirk, in his return to Minnesota, is going to do enough to win this game.
You bastard. Keep stealing my upsets. How am I supposed to make up ground? Yeah, I picked Falcons too. I mean, honestly, for some reason, the Kirk revenge game didn't even cross my mind. But now I feel even better about the pick. Because you're right, that does mean something. And, especially Vikings being at home, he's certainly comfortable there. We know that. But yeah, I picked the Falcons because, I mean, it's time. It's a bounce back, man. Like, they were in a situation where they should have ran away with this division with the Bucks, with all the injuries they had to their receivers and everything else. I mean, I expected them to run away, and they never did. And they lost games that I didn't think they would. And now it's time to bounce back. And like you said, Vikings, I'm still just waiting for them to break because they haven't looked pretty. They're just winning anyway. And yeah, I thought it was this week, and thought I was going to get a game on you, but hey, at least now I definitely won't lose a game to you between that, because Vikings, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
they've
I
been
wouldn't be
surprising
surprised if
us
they
all
win.
year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Moving on, Saints Giants next game up. Giants just look terrible. They're on QB3. I got the Saints here.
Yeah, gotta believe the Giants are like tanking at this point, so I think they want to lose, so so they probably will. So yeah, I picked the Saints as well.
Panthers Eagles up next. And as much as I would have liked to have picked the Panthers here, I also would like to win this competition. So I did have to go with the Eagles.
Well, honestly, you say
Don't be
that,
surprised
and
if it's closer than people think. The Panthers have been playing well the past 2 weeks.
yes,
The Chiefs and the Bucks, 2 weeks in a row, very close games.
yes, I was just gonna say you say that, but I literally wouldn't be surprised if we drop it, dude. I mean, us diehard Eagle fans out there, we know we like to lose a game where it's like, how did you freaking lose that game? And this one scares me a bit. I hope we come out ready to play. We are at home, and I feel like Saquon is a nice safety that we haven't had for a long time. Like, when you get in games like this where you shouldn't lose and you're losing and you don't know why, like, we never had a guy like Saquon. And now we do, so I went Eagles at the end of the day. I mean, we should totally win this game, but it does scare me a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Panthers, like you said, they've been playing really good, and I would hate to overlook this team and embarrass ourselves at home, but there's a chance.
Yeah. Up next, we got the Browns and Steelers round 2, only 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
And I got the Steelers taking this one. I think they'll take the reverse game here. Steelers at home. They're probably a little pissed off about the loss, and I don't think they allow themselves to drop 2 games to the Browns.
Yeah, I agree. You said it. It's more about the Browns already getting them. To me, it's yeah. I can't see them sweeping them. Steelers very good defense, um, which increases the odds of a bad Winston game. So yeah, I went Steelers. Don't see them getting swept by the Browns, especially not this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Up next, we got the Raiders and the Bucks. And honestly, with the Buccaneers' injuries, Mike Evans might not play again. I was very tempted to go with the Raiders with how they've been playing since Aiden O'Connell took over. But ultimately, I couldn't do it. I had to go with the Bucks. They're playing a lot better recently. Bucky Irving's really turning it on.
Yeah,
Even though Rashad White's role is reduced, he's playing his new role pretty well. Baker's been playing well. The past few weeks have been a bit of a struggle, but I mean, on the year, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year.
yep,
So I think they'll come out on top here.
yeah.
As we
Well,
like to say, home team.
yes, sir. Yeah, well said. The home team and everything else. Yeah, this was tough for me too, but same reasons you said. I ended up going with the Bucks. I just feel like they're better, and they might be hurt, but they've already proven they can be competitive even when they're banged up. And the team never quits, especially Baker. I mean, he leads this team. They're not going to quit, and they're the better team. But Raiders are a team that surprises sometimes. So yeah, I didn't just go with Bucks right away on this one, but yeah, that's where I ended up going. All said and done.
Yeah. Up next, got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. I'll let you lead here, sir. What do you got?
This was very tough, much like it was last time
I
these
agree.
two went against each
Yep.
other. That being said, I am going Cardinals. They are home, and um, they need to bounce back after last week. Seahawks kind of hot lately, but I feel like it's got to come to an end eventually. I don't think they're an elite team. Like they might make playoffs, they might even win this division, but I don't think they're going to win this game.
Yeah. I mean, you said it. The Seahawks have been hot lately. So I went with them. I think that continues because I think they see the open door
Oh
of
yeah,
winning this
it's
division.
it. But that's
Um,
every team in that division. I mean, it's open for all of them at this point.
to be fair, I mean, if the Seahawks win this game, I think they're really in the driver's seat, like big
Yeah.
time.
Oh, it would be
I
huge.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the winner of this game is the winner of the division all said and done.
Yeah, that's
But
not
yeah,
a bad take.
I got the Seahawks here. DK's back. I believe this is his second game back, maybe third. So he's hopefully getting healthier every week. Jackson Smith and Jigba's really taken a step this year.
Yeah, he
As
is.
a wide receiver too, he's definitely taken over Tyler Lockett's job. Um, which that's been interesting to see because when Tyler Lockett was the two, there were quite a few games where he saw way more targets than DK. Gino definitely had
Right.
a really good relationship with him, so that's been cool to
Yeah.
see. JSN,
Which, yeah, we're kind of seeing that with JSN now.
yeah, no, yeah, JSN's like filling that role exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so that's cool, but yeah, got Seahawks there.
Cool.
Moving on, Bills Rams, pretty easy one for me. I mean, the Bills are just playing so good right now, so I got the Bills here.
Yeah, I went Bills too. That being said, the Rams are always like a scary team to me just because their offense is very, very good at times. And they're one of the few teams that can score with the Bills. But yeah, I went Bills, and I didn't really think too much about it. But that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams won. Honestly, they are at home, and the offense it can play with any offense in the league, in my opinion, on the right given day. Um, they got mad weapons, and Stafford knows how to use them. And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's
I
really their
totally agree.
defense that holds them back. And, the Bills, like you said, I mean, they've just been playing great football, so I couldn't stray away from them, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some craziness there.
Totally agree. All right, we got three left. Up next, Bears 49ers. And I ended up going with the Chicago Bears here. New coach bounce still happening a little bit. They've been playing better the past few games. They just haven't gotten many results out of it. And I just think with the 49ers being as banged up as they are, they definitely haven't been playing as well the last few weeks. I think the Bears finally grab one here.
Yeah, I went Bears too. It's about time we get this one right. I mean, they're so close week after week.
Yep.
We've both tried them a few times and they let us down, but yeah, I think this could be the week. Like you said, Niners are really banged up. Like I said earlier, I don't know if they're in the right headspace to win a football game against a good defense like the Bears and an improving offense. Um, so yeah, went Bears there.
Totally agree. This next one was tough for me. Chargers Chiefs. And here's the deal. I'll just say I went Chiefs because I said on the pod before, why pick against them? Honestly, like why do it when the
Yeah,
odds are what they are right now? But I'm just gonna also say and get it out there. This feels like a spot for a potential upset, especially with how good the Chargers defense has been playing. I can totally see it happening, but ultimately I went Chiefs here.
yeah. No, I agree with you. I went Chiefs. It feels like you're just bound to lose a point if you go against them. So, I went Chiefs, and I somewhat agree with you, but I actually think it's the Chargers' offense that puts them in it. And obviously, you're not wrong. Their defense has played very good, and honestly, they have all year. But I'm impressed with how well Herbert's getting the offense going. I mean, he looks pretty good when I don't really think he has that much help. So he's almost taking the Josh Allen approach or the throwback Mahomes approach, like, just
Yeah.
elevating his team and everybody around him. And, it's cool to see. We always knew he had that potential, and it was looking kind of iffy the last year or so. But yeah, it's looking like he's bouncing back. He's pretty healthy, and he's getting the job done. But yeah, I would love to see that upset. But yeah, I'm just not gonna predict it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Herbie can keep it up because I do like the kid, but I certainly thought he was trending towards a possibly earlier ending career. It wasn't looking so good, but as you said, he's really bounced back this year, and
Yeah.
hopefully he keeps it up. And I was wrong. So let's talk about the last game. One more to go. The Bengals and the Cowboys. And I went Bengals here. I
Good
mean,
man.
if there is a game, there's a few teams in the NFL that hopefully their offense is bad enough that the Bengals could beat. And the Cowboys with Cooper Rush at the helm, I think, might be one of them.
Right.
So I went Bengals here.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is, I think, might moment because you just never know with this Bengals defense. Um, but yeah, I agree. I went Bengals. I think they're going to light them up. But like you said, it's just how's the defense going to respond? Um, but yeah, I went Bengals. Please do it, Bengals. Come on.
Yeah. Now we got another exciting week of NFL coming up.
Yes.
It's the last week with buys the rest of the way. We
Oh
got
yeah.
16 games every single week as we get closer to playoffs.
Ramping
It's
up.
going to get exciting. And we are excited to watch. Hope you are too. This is the end of another Palm City Chucks podcast. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. And we will be back at you next week, everybody.
Later, PCC.